Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and I'm finally back in my house. I can't believe it. 3.5 months of not being able to live in my house while it's been being repaired and having to go to various hotels and finally stay in a rental house, which was a lot better, but still, I am finally back home and I'm really, really happy about it. My house still looks like a disaster zone, but we're at least able to live in it safely and everything. Like it's not, it's basically just it looks like a furniture warehouse right now. It's terrible, but I'm really, really happy to be back. Things are really looking up. It takes a huge load off my mind, and I'm ready to share with you what I read in the first half of November. So, I most recently read The Wolf of Oranjaro by K.S. Veloso. This is an adult fantasy about a woman who is a queen, and basically her husband, who basically like so he's the one who's actually the ruler, like she married him, and she's the first like queen to actually be crowned queen. Like usually it's just, she's the king's wife, whatever. So anyway, basically her husband just kind of leaves, and then 5 years later finally she gets a letter from him saying, come meet me here in this totally other country. So she goes there, and then basically they get attacked, and then she has to go through the whole like rest of the book basically acting, pretending, well, like nobody there knows her or anything. She gets totally separated from everyone who knows who she is. So basically no one knows that she's a queen or anything. They just think that she's some random chick, and so she gets treated like shit, hugely taken advantage of, all kinds of stuff. And she has to like figure out what happened exactly, and whether her husband like arranged the assassination attempt because he's trying to get rid of her or something like that. It's so weird. It's a really good book. It starts off a little bit like I'm not sure what's really going on, but within a couple of chapters it really picks up, and I really enjoyed reading this. Before that, I read Wings of Fury by Emily R. King. I really enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would. So basically this is a Greek mythology type of retelling that takes place in Rome and Greece, kind of, where the so the main character is this chick who, how do I even describe this? Like she basically this takes place before the like main gods we think of, the ones who were born from the Titans and whatnot, i.e. Zeus, Hera, etc., don't exist yet. And so basically Zeus's father Kronos is still like eating people and whatever else is going on. And so Zeus is able to get out without being eaten. His mother saves him, all that stuff. So the main character basically has to find Zeus and help him defeat his father. So this was a really good book. The main characters were really interesting, especially the main character. She's really feisty and everything, and I really enjoy feisty main characters who just like don't know when to like actually think things through and just try to just go ahead and fight people when it might not be the best idea and stuff like that. And then the conflict in this book was just really on point and really good. The only thing that I thought was kind of odd was there, since this takes place like before a lot of the Greek mythology stuff that we think of like starts. So like a good chunk of the gods don't exist yet in this world, or their existence is like just found out about in this book, basically, in the world that this takes place in. So there was the occasional thing that just sort of didn't really add up. For instance, the presence of Vestal virgins. They take a pretty good, they have a pretty significant part in this story. If Hestia, aka Vesta, did not exist yet as this takes place, why are they called Vestal virgins, and why, it just, so there's stuff like that kind of made me think like, wait a minute, I'm a little confused here. Like, maybe some of it gets explained in the second book, all that stuff, but overall I really enjoyed this book. I definitely want to continue with this series and see where it goes from here. I think the second book just came out this year, and the third book is coming out soon, so I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for those and read those soon, because I really, really enjoyed this book. I did not expect to be like so invested in this that I'm like really excited to read the next one. I just thought it was going to be like kind of cool, but it's really good. I really liked it. definitely a very interesting take on Greek mythology, for sure. Before that, I read Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. It's hard to describe this book. It deals with some really tough topics. Mostly, I feel like you should just pick this up and read it without really knowing too much about it. Also, it's written in verse. I didn't even know that. So that made me really excited to read it. I read it in like one evening, pretty much. Like I read pretty much most of it in like one sitting. It's a really quick read and really good the whole way through, and I really liked it. And finally, the first book that I finished in the month of November is The Other Man by Farhad Dadiboujor. This is a book that I will also be posting a full video review of, but basically it follows a guy who is gay and lives in India, where at the time that this takes place, homosexuality is criminalized there. So he kind of gave up on ever wanting to come out of the closet at all. Because he just gets so used to being in the closet that he doesn't even like think to say anything to his parents, anything at all, even though his mother is constantly trying to hook him up with like different women, because she's trying to find him a marriage partner, and he's like 38 and still not married and blah blah blah. So long story short, he gets into an arranged marriage with someone his mom picks, and he really likes her, like, as a friend, as a human being. He like loves the crap out of her. She's great, fantastic. And so he ends up getting into an arranged marriage with her because he kind of thinks that he's not going to do any better. Because at this point in his life, he really does not think he's going to have a chance to have an open relationship with an actual, like, with a guy. He doesn't think that he's ever going to be able to come out of the closet at all. So he thinks that, like, since this chick is so great, like, he should, and they get to be such good friends, like, he should just go ahead and do that, since both of them are basically going to have to get married at some point anyway. And so it's really weird. It's definitely very sad. Where as you're kind of reading it and going like, damn, like, come on, dude, wake up. You've got to say something or do something, basically. So he gets further and further into this arranged marriage that he doesn't want. And there's like an engagement party coming up and everything. And so he's more and more pressured to keep going with it, basically. But then he meets a really wonderful man who he ends up in a relationship with, and he can't tell this guy that about his upcoming arranged marriage, and he can't tell his soon-to-be, his fiance, basically, about this guy. He's afraid to even tell his parents or anybody that he's gay, and that he just does not really want to go through with this arranged marriage or anything. So it's a really good book, really high stakes and really intense, and ultimately it does end happy, all that stuff. It's a really, really good book. I really liked it. But yeah, look forward to my full review if you want to hear, like, kind of more in depth what it's about and all my thoughts and stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and those are the books that I read in the first half of October. I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye!